All right, welcome to the Ravit Show. We are here at Gartner. I'm super excited to be with one of my very good friends, Ryan. Ryan, welcome to the Ravit Show again. You're not a new face to the audience.
No.
Super excited to be here with you at Gartner.
Yeah, good. It's great to be back. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Ryan, I'm excited to obviously learn a little about what's happening at GoodData, what are the things that are happening in analytics space. But just to start with, would you like to quickly introduce yourself, tell us more about what you're doing at GoodData?
Yeah.
But in the last maybe 2 years, what are the trends that you've seen as well?
Yeah, thanks. So I'm the VP of product here at GoodData, and obviously there's been a lot going on in the analytics space. Things are moving very fast. The biggest trend is clearly AI, right? Here at Gartner, you look at all the booths and all the presentations, they're all about AI. When I talk to our customers or enterprise leaders here at the conference, it's the number one topic they want to cover. And there's kind of two halves to it in my mind. There's the AI functionality itself, what can we do with AI? That's very important. The other side is kind of the AI infrastructure. How do we make sure that it performs well, that it gives accurate answers, that we don't get really nasty surprise bills from AI usage and that sort of thing. So that's the number one trend by far that we see here at the conference today and over the last few years.
Okay, that's awesome. Pretty good insights those are. I'm kind of also curious, how is GoodData approaching these shifts in the industries? Because I'm pretty sure you talk to a lot of customers day in and out, and the customers have a different sort of requirements, they might have a different sort of ask, they might be curious about some things. How are you kind of approaching it as, GoodData as a company?
Yeah, I mean, we're trying to stay very agile, right? In a time where the market is rapidly shifting, you need to be able to, test things out, test different hypotheses. You need to stay really closely connected to your customers and see what is it they need, what are they actually trying to accomplish. When it comes to AI, there's lots of very successful POCs out there. But when it comes to real successful analytics environments driven by AI, that's much rarer. And so that's a big part of our strategy, is just to work very closely with our customers to figure out, okay, how can we identify what's really going to make a material difference to their business? How are they going to save enough money or make enough money to make a real interesting AI investment worth it? And then we work with them to deliver that. And we're an analytics platform. We do BI, we do data transformation, not just AI, but AI is increasingly a bigger and bigger part of all of that.
Very true. I think you've kind of mentioned a very important point in terms of, obviously how you'll bring, like from what I hear is how you're getting the value to the customers. And it's not only just about, getting into the space, but sometimes it's also about testing the market, what's working, what's not working, right?
Yeah, that's a huge part of it. And that's, my advice to you, if you're trying to embark on AI projects, is, treat it that way.
Yeah.
Like, let's say it's just internal, okay? You're just doing some internal AI projects. Test the internal market for AI. Do a small project, take it through to production, measure its impact, and grow from there. It's very easy, we find in AI, the promise of the technology is obviously huge, but what we find in our customer base is it's very easy to spend a lot of money and at the end of it look back on it and say, okay, maybe that wasn't as successful as we hoped, right?
Yeah.
So test the waters, find the right use case, find a great partner like GoodData to invest in it with, and then make that investment is kind of my advice.
I love it. Thanks for that advice. I'm kind of also curious to learn a little about open source. Right? So open source is a big, obviously community out there. People love open source stuff. So how does this strategy benefit users, and how do you see open source shaping the future of analytics? So I'm kind of curious to know a little about that.
Yeah, it's hugely important. So, the open source analytics community is thriving. If you look at the technologies that have come out of open source over the last decade and a half, most of the major technologies have started there. At GoodData, we really put a premium on investing in these open source technologies and bringing them into our platform.
Yep.
So, for example, we have a part of our platform that we call Analytics Lake. And if you were to look under the hood, okay, what is Analytics Lake? It's a combination of Apache Iceberg and Apache Arrow and DuckDB
Nice.
that work together to help you, import data, transform data, and present data in a really modern, high-performance, cost-effective way. All three of those things are open source technologies. So, the advantages to you, if you invest in these open source technologies, are one, you get great performance, you get a great cost profile, you develop skills internally at your company that make it portable. So if you choose us as an analytics vendor, and then you say, hey, to learn to use good data, you're going to have to learn to use Iceberg, you're going to have to learn to use DuckDB. Well, that's a skill that you now have at your company that you can use outside of good data as well.
Yeah.
And so that's really kind of how we see it playing into the analytics market as a whole. And it's what drives innovation. Like the open source projects drive huge innovation that then gets taken up by the vendors. So I would watch that space very closely for technologies like Arrow and others, because I think you're going to hear more and more about them going forward.
I love it, and it is something, obviously the community also kind of get a hands-on experience before, obviously locking themselves into going out and buying, software. This is the opportunity where they can do so much more.
Well, and I think data leaders especially appreciate that. Like if you say, hey,
so true.
We're a vendor, use our software, but you'll have portability. If the software is built on open source technology, you have portability. You can take data that's in good data that you've loaded into Arrow, into our in-memory computation layer, and then take it anywhere else, because it's just Arrow. It's not some special locked down good data version of Arrow where you can't take it out of good data and use it somewhere else, right? It's Apache Arrow. And so as a data leader, I would ask your vendor, what is your strategy for open source? Because it really gives you a lot of portability when it comes to your technology.
Yeah, no, I love it. Those are fantastic insights. Quickly, also wanting to learn a little about, since we are on this topic of AI as well, how is good data integrating AI into their systems, the functionalities? What can users benefit from it? Any thoughts?
Yeah. The most obvious thing that any analytics or BI tool should be doing with AI is having it conversationally generate insights for you, and everybody has seen that. We have it. All BI vendors have this chatbot demo. Everybody's got it, right? Now there's kind of a next step, right? There's the AI's ability to reason, and its ability to proactively notify you of things that are happening in the underlying data. So that's one area where we're investing heavily right now. The other thing that I think it's really crucial that AI be able to do in the data space is the kind of so what, or what's next step.
Yeah.
There's the so what, like, okay, here's what's going on in your data, oh, sales are up, and here's why I think sales are up. AI can do that for you. But then there's often like an operational step that people need to take, okay? Now we need to set up a simple example. Hey, I discovered an interesting insight in AI, and now I want the AI to help me figure out who I should send it to and how often I should send it to them. And so that's something we're investing into. We call it like the next action. I built a report with AI, that's great, but now I want to send it to the CFO every Wednesday if this data condition happens again. And being able to describe that to the AI and have the AI set that up for you is kind of the next step that we're investing in.
I love it. Those are fantastic insights, and something which I'm pretty sure a lot of enterprise leaders are kind of looking at as well, because this is one major problem which could be, what y'all are solving. So, which is amazing.
Well, look, BI tools have a problem, and they always have, and that is that the insights stay locked in the BI tool. It's such a challenge, and so one of the things that we do with both our BI and our AI is make it really easy for you to embed the AI functionality or the BI functionality in other places where people actually do their work to try to help with that problem.
That's fantastic. Thanks, Ryan, for that. One more quick question about how does good data support the shift to self-service analytics and data democratization while ensuring governance and security? Because that's one of the pieces that I talk to a lot of enterprise leaders, and they tell me that, what about the governance? What about security? Which is a major, I'm pretty sure you hear it every time.
Yes, we hear it all the time. It's one of the reasons that, one of the main things we talk about with our customers and data leaders out there The way we approach that is we have a really strong semantic or metrics layer built into good data.
Yeah.
And that kind of gives you it gives you the right combination of governance and flexibility.
100%.
So kind of the way that we do it is, you have a data team and maybe they can build an enterprise data model, but then it's customizable by your business units. So, the centralized team maintains this enterprise data model and it's kind of locked down and nobody can mess with those metrics. But then any business user or department can then take that, extend it, customize it with their own metrics,
Yes.
add their own content.
Very important.
And we kind of keep it all in the same environment.
Very
so you
cool.
can see, hey, here's the official version of this metric, here are the 3 customized versions of the metric, they're linked together, you get a map of who's using them, when and why, who built them,
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. Because it really is a problem, and it's been a problem for a long time.
Long time.
It's going to be a much bigger problem in the AI world, I think, than even it was in the BI world.
Yeah, no, I love it. Ryan, these are fantastic insights. Thanks for sharing all the great work that's obviously that Good Data is doing, but in the AI and analytics space, I think you've been an experienced leader. So it's always good to hear from you. But one more quick question that
Yeah.
I have for you, and I know you're very accessible all across social channels. You're always up for helping the community, always up for chatting with enterprise leaders, help them in different things that they are into. But if they want to reach out to you, which is the best place?
I mean, LinkedIn is the best place. I'm on LinkedIn all the time.
Yeah.
I'm a bit of a LinkedIn addict in some ways. So you can find me there. Obviously, if you're, reach out to me. Like you said, I'm happy to talk about good data. I'm happy to talk about any data challenges that you're encountering. So check me out there. And then, of course, I do host a podcast with my brother, the Super Data Brothers. So you can see me there too.
Yeah, that's awesome. Again, such a pleasure chatting with you, Ryan. Always a pleasure chatting with you at different places, different parts of the world as well, and newer things that you bring to the table. So once again, thank you for visiting the Ravit Show. Such a pleasure.
It's great to be here. Thanks.